Hi, welcome to Shipping TV. Today we're at the port of Felixstowe, but we're not talking about Felixstowe. We're talking about one of Britain's, well, lesser ports really, Ramsgate in Kent. It's our second closest port to the continent. It's a few miles further on from Dover, which is the UK's major ferry hub, but it's not, of course, the UK's only ferry port. I think behind me in this shot you can just about see the Britannia Seaways, operated by DFDS, which is one of the many ferries that ply between Northern Europe and the UK. Most of us don't really realise how much we depend on these ferries for our daily supplies. Every day 3 ferries come into Felixstowe carrying around 150 loaded trailers each. The same number go into the Humber and more go into the Thames. That's as well as those ferries going into Dover itself. But with Brexit looming on the horizon, Ramsgate has come to the fore, essentially because of a deal done between the government, the UK government, and a new company called Seabourn Freight. Seabourn's planned service would run between Ramsgate and Ostend, but similar services have been proposed before and failed to materialise. We asked journalist Cathy Bales, editor of the award-winning local news website the Isle of Thanet News, to tell us what she knows. She said, "I think people would love to see an operating ferry service here at Ramsgate, but there are issues of what vessels will be used because Ramsgate's berths are too narrow to accommodate most modern cross-channel vessels. There are also questions over Seabourn's funding for the venture. The company doesn't appear to have funds, although it's linked by directors to Albany Shipping, which is an operational company. There seem to be many questions about why the government has decided to work with a company that is not yet operational and doesn't have any vessels, either owned or chartered. But the government says due diligence has been carried out, so it really does seem to be a case of waiting for March 29 to see if something is up and running. It's worth noting that Seabourn will apparently only be paid if, in the event of a no-deal Brexit, it runs an effective service, according to the Department for Transport. Cathy added that Ramsgate's last operational ferry service was Trans-Europa, which went bust in 2013, owing £3.4 million to Thanet District Council in port fees. Despite several sets of negotiations since then, there have been no other takers to run operations from Ramsgate. The port has a deficit of some 20 million since 2010, so any chance of a viable business, whether it's a ferry service or some other kind of maritime or harbour-related venture, is to be welcomed. But, she said, we do need to be scrupulous in carrying out those due diligence checks first. Since talking to Cathy, we've also been in touch with both Seabourn Freight and Thanet District Council. Seabourn preferred to make no new comment, while Thanet DC issued a not very exciting press release, which can be read on the Shipping TV website. We'll do our best to keep this story up to date, and we'll also be looking at the ferry situation between Europe and the UK over the next few days. Keep in touch with Shipping TV for more UK shipping news.